Yes guys, what is up? Welcome back to a brand new video here today and some more F1 My Team content. Today we are here for the US Grand Prix, the fourth from last race of the calendar, and we're getting very close now to the end of Season 2. But guys, if you missed the last episode guys, then go check it out. I'll leave a link up in the top right hand corner of the screen for my favourite race, the Japanese Grand Prix, and definitely by far the most fun I've ever had on F1 2020 so far. It was an incredible race and I really enjoyed it. So if you guys haven't checked it out, go check it out because the support on that episode has been incredible. So yeah guys, that aside, if you're new to the channel, you want to see more crazy episodes like the previous one, then hit that red subscribe button and let's get today's episode on the way. So this weekend we are here at USA, and as you guys may know, if you've been a part of the channel for a little while, you'll know that I'm not the best around this track. It's not my strong one. If you look at the weather forecast, there is no rain expected. We then jump into the R&D, and we are still in second place. We've brought a couple of upgrades this weekend, and things are looking pretty decent, and we've got one more on the way as well. But it's getting to that point now where we've got to kind of consider, do we start to save some R&D points and some cash to make some big Season 3 investments, you know, really take a step forward for next season? So you can see there we've got the engine upgrade, which will hopefully arrive soon, and I'm thinking that might be the last upgrade of the season, to be honest, guys. You know, we need to work on other areas of the car, I feel like, and we need some big investment, and that's going to happen only if we work on it over the winter. And I want to know what you guys think about that. So after practice, you can see we actually finished P16 on the soft tires. Really concerning, a lack of pace. At 129.4 was the lap. And you can see after practice we scored about 630 R&D points, so we don't really have that much to spend anyway at the minute. So I think it makes a lot of sense to start saving up some points for next season. That aside though, like I said, a little bit concerning. We seem to be quite a way off the pace. The car didn't feel particularly great, and I'm not sure where I stand. Heading into qualifying though, we are going to put on the fresh engine, of course, that we debuted, I believe, 2 races ago. So hopefully this will help us out, and it'll give us a big performance boost heading into qualifying. So here we go then. Let's see how the session goes. Surely we can improve on, you know, the practice form, because that was very concerning, and hopefully we don't have as many issues. So anyway, we jumped into qualifying, and straight away, unfortunately, we've got an issue, and it's a cooling system fault, which pretty much meant we missed out on 7 minutes worth of running in Q1. I then went out for my first time lap in this session, and it was actually a really good first lap. The car was great. I was happy with the balance, and we seemed to pull out the back in qualifying. But even though the lap was great, and you know, it was 1.2 seconds quicker than what we've done in practice, it was only good enough for P15. Eventually we got pushed down to P16, and we was on the elimination zone. But having said that, I was the last car to cross the line, and I could see that nobody else was improving, so I just pulled the car into the pit lane. I saved the tyres, saved the engine, because nobody was able to improve. And to be fair, we got through by more than 2 tenths in the end, so it was somewhat comfortable. Mick Schumacher, though, up in 8th place, 6 tenths quicker than us in Q1. Either way, we now move to Q2, and this session was a bit more representative. Now, in practice 2, we did a 29.4. In Q1, we did a 28.2. Let's see what this first lap in Q2 is. It's a 28.0. So our best lap of the weekend so far. We go P9. But now we're going to run a board for my best lap of Q2. Will it be enough to get to Q3? We're currently P13. So we're about to find out. Let's go for a full lap of the Circuit of the Americas. Let's see if we can try and crack into the 127s.
Just 30 seconds left in the session.
Here we go through the final corner. We just make a bit of a mistake there, run it a bit wide, and we threw away about half a tenth. We do jump up into the top 9. Mick Schumacher there in 8th place, but unfortunately others around us did improve, and you can see after qualifying we do get eliminated, but only in P11. So you know what, I'm not too mad at that, to be honest. I think that's not too bad. It gives us a bit of strategy flexibility for the race tomorrow. Mick Schumacher though into Q3, fair play to him. Hamilton quickest, 8 tenths quicker than Charles Leclerc, the Mercedes cars. At least with Lewis absolutely flying, Bottas not so much. But generally, you know what, I'm not too upset with that. Even with the final corner mistake, we wouldn't have got through, so we more or less maximised the qualifying session. Considering our lack of pace and how slow we were in practice, I don't consider that a terrible session. But with that said, we now move into the rivalry breakdown after qualifying, and you can see Sebastian Vettel, our new rival, does outscore us in the first session of the rivalry, but hopefully we can try and get our own back on him later on in the end of the season. And in terms of acclaim, no real changes here unfortunately due to the poor qualifying. Mick does gain a little bit by getting to Q3, but generally things remain unchanged. Other than that, guys, that is it for qualifying. We're now going to move into the race for the 4th from last race of the season for the US Grand Prix.
Welcome once again then to the United States Grand Prix here in the magnificent city of Austin. It was here in 2018 that Kimi Räikkönen delighted the world by winning for the first time in 114 races. There's always a record to be broken, so what I wonder is in store for us today. We have 10 turns to the left and 10 to the right here at the fantastic Circuit of the Americas. Overtaking opportunities into turn 1 and 12 at this anti-clockwise 3.6 mile track. And we should see average lap speeds of around 126 miles per hour. And I'm joined once again by Anthony Davidson to bring you the lowdown for today's race. Let's talk about Martinez. They're starting towards the back of the field today in a car that is fast, so they'll be disappointed, won't they?
It's not a nice feeling, I promise you. They've got a quick car underneath them, but they've got onto the grid today and they need a pair of binoculars to see the start lights. They'll be desperate for a good start to make up for some of that deficit.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Leclerc, Ricciardo, Sebastian Vettel, and Schumacher, Ocon, Perez, Stroll, and Martinez, Albon, Norris, Daniel Kvyat, and Gasly, Giovinazzi, Grosjean, Kimi Räikkönen, and Max Verstappen. Russell, Latifi, Magnussen, and Carlos Sainz will start from the back of the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track and get this Grand Prix underway.
Okay guys, it's time for the US Grand Prix here today, starting from P10 on the grid on the medium compound tyres. And to be fair, things are looking a bit mixed. I'm not quite sure what to expect this race. You know, the pace in qualifying wasn't quite there, but the race pace could be better. You know, similar to Japan in the last race, we didn't have the 1 lap pace, but we were so damn quick in the race. So we'll see how it goes. In terms of the race strategy, we're going to be starting on the medium tyres, like I mentioned, and then going on to a set of soft tyres. So a very simple one-stop strategy here today, and I think quite effective. We'll be pretty quick at the end on the soft tyres, and hopefully they won't overheat too much. No rain expected, and fuel-wise, I'm running a 0.6 extra, so we're going to see how that goes. Either way, guys, it's now time for the race here today. Let's see if we can try and deliver a good result. Either way, it's time for the US Grand Prix. Right, here we go then. The lights are coming on at the Circuit of the Americas. Let's see what kind of start we get. Lights out and away we go. Oh, what a launch. Look at that. Absolutely perfect. Getting the traction down here. We're going to switch to the outside line. There's a bit more space to find. Look at this. All the way around the outside. And we're up to P5. Wow. What a start on the medium tyres. That's unbelievable. Vettel trying to re-challenge here into the S section. Doesn't quite make it stick. We've got Ricciardo in front in the Renault. But oh my goodness me, what a start. It's unbelievable. The traction and then switching to the outside line was definitely the one. Around the outside of turn 1. And we're up into the top 5 on the mediums. That is insanity. Wow. Right, now let's see if we can somehow find any kind of pace and rhythm to try and keep up with these guys. I think we're going to struggle big time, personally, especially on these tyres, but you never know. I might be pleasantly surprised, but for now it's P5 on lap 1 in the US Grand Prix, and that was not what I had in mind for the start of this race. Ooh, Mick Schumacher in the pits.
Is coming in for his stop.
Not sure what happened there to Mick Schumacher, but he must have got some front wing damage. Either way, he's in the pit lane, so that's going to put him at a massive disadvantage in this race. Meanwhile, we're already starting to struggle for pace. Luckily, it's only Sebastian Vettel behind us, so even if Seb goes by, you know, that's not going to be too bad news for us. But we've got a nice gap to Ocon in 7th place, so far it's actually not looking too bad. I think Mick Schumacher actually held up Ocon and all those cars behind, so as a consequence we've got a nice little gap to those guys in the midfield. But I'd like to see if I can try and keep Vettel behind and try and keep a pace with the leaders, but obviously I'm not too confident about that. I think we're at a big disadvantage at this state of time with these tyres. Bit of a lock up there into the hairpin. I don't think it will affect us majorly. I think we've got enough overtake mode to use to stay ahead of Sebastian Vettel. The car is super efficient now. Ocon is also within DRS range, but after that there's no one really close enough. But we are still pretty badly down on pace. Still hanging in there. Looks like Vettel can't really get anywhere near to me on the straights. DRS and fuel are super efficient around here. I kind of wish I'd underfueled the car. Either way though, we're looking very good now, and I'm confident of holding on to P5. We don't quite have the pace yet though to catch Ricciardo. He's a bit too quick. I'm waiting for that crossover period where the mediums start to get strong. That should happen now any minute, and hopefully I can start to close him in a bit. Still no real progress on lap 8. I thought by now we'd start to make some inroads on Ricciardo, but it's not really been the case. Gap is still going up, and it's 6.6 now, which is frustrating. I thought at this point we'd start to show some pace, but it just hasn't happened yet. And also the cars behind are starting to close up a little bit now as well. Oh, there we go, Ocon into the pit lane. He's the first car to bite the bullet and go into the pit. So I'm expecting Ricciardo in this lap as well. So the Renault is maybe struggling for some tyre wear. Meanwhile, cars behind are starting to close up a little bit. The Racing Points are finding a bit of pace. But so far, unfortunately, we haven't really made any inroads on Danny Rick. It just hasn't happened. He's so fast in that Renault. He's such a quick driver in this game. We've still got Seb behind, frustrating him massively. But we just don't quite have the pace, unfortunately. And that's just been the story of the weekend. It seems like, unlike Japan, the race pace isn't there, just like the one-lap pace. There we go, Ricciardo in the pit lane, along with Lewis Hamilton as well. Sebastian Vettel pits as well. So these guys are going to try and go a bit more aggressive, especially Sebastian. I think he's going to try and undercut us like Ocon did a couple laps ago.
A new strategy is available on the MFD.
Let's see what this is real quick.
Copy that.
Literally nothing different to what I was going to do anyway, so we're going to box lap 17, it looks like, for the soft tyres as we move up to P3 in this race now. Okay, Leclerc and also Valtteri Bottas into the pit lane now then. Looks like everyone's going for the hard tyres, so we may have a big advantage later on the softs, which would be quite interesting to be fair how that kind of pans out, as we are going to take the lead here in the US Grand Prix. The question is, will it be Bottas behind us or will it be Lewis? Looks like it will be Bottas at the moment, so he's trying to keep his tyre hopes alive. He has the fastest lap in his name, or he did have the fastest lap. So let's see. Mick pits as well. So far so good. We're keeping Bottas behind. He hasn't really challenged me. Similar to Sebastian Vettel, as we set a new personal best. He can't quite get close enough, and we're keeping both Mercs behind us here. If I can keep them both behind until we pit on lap 17, that would be absolutely perfect, but I'm not sure that's going to happen or not. Another personal best.
To mix 2, fuel to mix 2.
Pace is actually improving now, finally. I'm starting to find a bit of a rhythm on these tyres. I may even go to lap 18 and stretch it one more, because I'm a bit concerned that I might not be able to do 11 laps on soft tyres. So just doing an extra lap on these might make the final stint a bit easier. And also the fact is we're running pretty well at the minute. We're actually matching, if not slightly quicker than Charles Leclerc in P4 at the minute. So that means we're probably closing the gap on Ricciardo as well by overcutting. So this is working out okay for us at the minute. Having said that, Bottas is right on my gearbox this lap. So we may be in trouble here. Let's see what kind of hairpin we have. Struggling to get the rear traction down, but that wasn't too bad. I think I'll be okay if I just run a bit of overtake here, down to about 65%. There we go. That's more than okay. We've got enough juice to stay in front quite comfortably of our competitors. I've been quiet the last few laps. I've been just really trying to concentrate and keep these Mercedes cars behind, which I think I've achieved, to be honest. Meanwhile, Ocon has overtaken Ricciardo for P5. He's on the two-stop strategy, it looks like, in the second Renault. Leclerc closing in now quite a lot as we back the Mercedes into him. And we're going to see now where we rejoin as it's time for our pit stop. So here we go. Into the penultimate corner. Just going to try and make sure we keep it nice and tidy. And now into the pit lane. Oh, pushing that a bit too much there. Running a bit hot on the brakes. Slow it down, and there we go. Right, a bit of a messy pit entry, but it'll do. Looks like Ocon's in as well, actually, in the second Renault. So he's going to be doing his two-stop strategy in this race. We're going to go to the soft tyres. I wanted to go to lap 18, but it wasn't going to happen. We didn't quite have the pace for it. 1.9, great stop actually. Here we go. Can we rejoin in P5?
Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
Seb Vettel on the outside. It's close. I've got to leave some room. We have to put our car on the apex side by side, but we do go around the outside and hang on to that. And there we go, P5 in this race. Fantastic. The resilience in the first stint to just hang on and defend my position the entire first part of the race has paid off. And we're now P5 on the soft tyres. Right, let's see if we can grab a P4. Ricciardo up the road. Can we do this? It's a big gap to climb, you know, nearly 10 seconds pretty much. But we have got the good tyres for it. The question is, will the tyres last long enough? Let's try and go for the fastest lap as well. That's going to be one of our targets to see if we can try and get the extra point. But this is going to be fun, this. Let's see how fast we can go on these tyres. We've lost Russell in the Williams, but looks like there's not going to be a safety car, which is okay. I don't mind that, to be fair, because I don't want the pack behind to close up, because I am concerned that later on when the tyres do start to fade, those on the hard tyres will be quicker than us. So I'm quite happy to just stay as I am, to be honest. And if you have to bring home a P5, I'll bring home a P5. It doesn't bother me too much. This lap should be enough to pick up the fastest lap, an extra point, unless something goes terribly wrong. 1 minute 30.3, gap to Ricciardo down to 5.9, so a very strong lap there. Vettel now, sorry, 3 seconds behind, so that's how quick we were on the soft tyres on that lap. I wasn't even really pushing that much. I think I can go quicker. There we go, another fastest lap. Only just marginally improved, but gap to Ricciardo now down to 3.6. Right, here we go then. We finally got ourselves within DRS range of Daniel Ricciardo. Can we get a move on him though? That's the question. I don't think it's going to happen until turn 1 unless he has his engine turned down. We're catching, but it's not going to be enough. I think we're just going to be patient here and wait until the back straight and get him comfortably. Right, here we go then. Let's get this moved on. Into the hairpin. Nice wide line down to the apex. Easy on the throttle. Now we crank up the engine. Here we go. A couple of short shifts in there as well to keep the temperature down. Ricciardo, to be fair, good straight line speed in that Renault, but we've got a bit more momentum. Can we get it slowed down? Around the outside we go. There it is. Nicely done. We'll hold the inside through the next one. And job done. P4. Leclerc only 3.9 up the road. Could we get a sneak podium here? That would be an incredible achievement. When you consider the lack of pace all weekend long and even in the race as well. This would be a really special achievement. Oh no.
Safety car, no overtaking, reduce your pace. Keep your delta number positive as we form up.
That's not good. I don't have any fresh soft tyres left, otherwise I'd consider boxing for another set of softs. We've got 15 seconds to Sebastian Vettel in P6. That's not good. That's such a shame. Let's see where Mick is. He's on the right hand side here somewhere. There he is. I don't know what happened to him, but that's a right shame for us as a team. Mick's had a pretty miserable race, to be fair. He qualified well, but pitting on lap 1, I'm guessing he got some wing damage, and then he was always, you know, up against it this race. Either way now, we're going to have to just hang on with these tyres. I think we should be okay. I've got enough life left in these to push, so it shouldn't be a big deal. Right then, it's time for the safety car restart. 2 laps to go. Once the flag goes green, we can get a podium here. I think I've got the pace. The problem is when the AI relaunch after safety cars at full power, they're so quick. I think we're going to struggle to get past the car, I really do. But we'll give it our best shot. I think for now the target really is to stay ahead of Ricciardo. That would be nice. Here we go. Through the final corner. My tyres are freezing cold. I've not had enough temperature in these. Spinning up the rears as we get back on the way then. Let's see how this goes for us. 2 laps to go. Flat out to the finish. I'll tell you what, I think we may actually be able to do this. We're not a million miles away. My tyres are still hanging in there. I've got the edge. Seems like those hard tyres are very second hand now on Leclerc's car. We're pulling away from Ricciardo, 1.2 clear, so it's game on here. I really believe it is. I think we can actually get this. This is what it's all about right here. If I can get nice and close into the hairpin, we may have one more chance. Trying to lock up too heavily. There we go. Leclerc is a bit loose. We're close enough. There's no DRS, but I think I may still have a chance to get by here. Come on, let's go. Yes, come on. Push. Down the inside. Take it easy. Yes, there we go. We're through. Up into P3 on the last lap, and that is going to be for a podium. Yes, boys. What a move. The soft tyres held on long enough. I'm actually surprised how long these tyres lasted around here. Hamilton will win it, and that is massive for the championship because Bottas was, of course, ahead earlier on in the race. But anyway, that aside, for ourselves, this is a huge race. Back on the podium for the first time in a while. And after getting a great result in Japan last time out, another win today would have been great, but instead it's P3. We'll take it.
Top job, my friend, top job. I was a bit worried about this one at the start of the weekend, but you've pulled through. Thank you.
That's a spectacular victory then, and with it, the championship is secure. It's been a magnificent season, and they thoroughly deserve the cheers of the crowd here today. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
Well, the safety car completely changed the race, didn't it? It's hard to say exactly what would have happened without it, but there's no question that they came out of that situation in a good position.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today.
Well then guys, there we go, the results are in. Unfortunately, as you may have seen right at the very end, Hamilton did take away our fastest lap, which is a shame. So we don't get the extra point, but we got a podium instead, so I can't complain too much. Bottas second, we finish in a very unexpected and unlikely third place. Leclerc P4, Ricciardo fifth, Sebastian Vettel sixth, ahead of Esteban Ocon, Albon, Kvyat and Stroll ran out the points. Verstappen misses out on the points altogether, with Perez missing out along with Norris, Sainz, Giovinazzi, Gasly, Raikkonen, Magnussen, Grosjean, Latifi, Schumacher and Russell, who of course both DNF from the race here today. We then look at the driver standings, and after that race we are in third place, and with 3 races to go we're looking pretty good in terms of wrapping it up in third place now, so that's looking absolutely awesome. Hamilton now is 5 points away. We know with 3 races to go, 75 points up for grabs. Bottas won the title in Season 1, but Hamilton is about to reclaim his championship and potentially win his 7th world title. We then move into the Constructors, and look at that, we are pretty much now mathematically confirmed to finish in third place. So we've got over 114 points on Renault, who are now the 4th place team. So it's looking great, guys. Really, really good. What a season. But we're now going to move into the laptop.
You gained a lot of positions during the race, didn't you?
We did, to be fair. The start was really, really good. And the strategy worked out okay in the end. I think that was all about. And the car was just able to just, go. We had some really good straight line speed, and that really helped.
You must be happy with the result today.
Of course. The car was perfect. The strategy was perfect. It was a really good day today.
It looks like you're schooling your rivals at the moment.
Well, I think it's fair to say, we held Seb up behind for a long time that race. It wasn't easy, but, he's a 4-time world champion, and I think we both push each other a lot in F1.
Was today a good day for you?
Yeah, of course. It was an awesome day. Really, really happy, and I'm ecstatic.
Great. Well, that's everything.
Okay, so in terms of the rivalry breakdown, we do outscore Sebastian Vettel quite comfortably. So we're off to a pretty good start, 6-4 in terms of the rivalry heading into the next race at Mexico. We then look at the acclaim, and Mick Schumacher doesn't gain anything, but we gain a little bit here and there as a driver and also as a team as well. So we're on our way to level 19. And then finally, in terms of the cash bonuses, we didn't have the best weekend. We didn't beat the Sudo one, which is finished top in any session, and then also there's a few damage reductions here and there due to issues in practice and qualifying and the race in Mick Schumacher's case. So yeah, not the best weekend in that sense, but still nearly $13 million, and we're really starting to stack up a lot of cash here heading into Season 3. Okay, so first of all, we have a sponsorship renewal, which I'm more than happy to oblige with DSB Optics, so we'll stick with them for the foreseeable future. We also have an intercooler upgrade on the way in 2 days' time, but first of all, let's assign a couple of activities. So in this case, only a couple of days until the next race, so we'll go for some reaction training to improve mixed pace. And do we have enough points to get any more upgrades heading into maybe the final races? Let's have a look. So looks like all we have available really are major ones, so I might just hang back and wait. There are a couple of minor ones, but they're not really that great for performance, so I'm going to sit back. I'm also going to start considering saving some R&D points for the winter, so I think we're going to start to consider that. And in this episode, I don't think we're going to buy anything, so you know what? We're going to head forward and skip ahead to the next race. Fingers crossed the upgrade arrives. And it has. There we go. Job done. Happy days, and we head into the next race with an upgraded package. So guys, if you enjoyed the episode, then drop me a like and subscribe if you are new to the channel, guys, for daily F1 content, and also click the bell icon to be notified when those new videos do go live, and also check out the 2 videos on your screen right now. But guys, that's it from me here today, and I'll see you all next time.